Hello everyone, it's Dr. Sam. I'd like to welcome you to my EyeClarity podcast. This is a show that offers cutting-edge information on how to improve your vision and overall wellness through holistic methods. I so appreciate you spending part of your day with me. If you have questions, you can send them to hello@drsamberne.com. Now, to the latest EyeClarity episode. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Sam and I'm on my morning walk. I'd like to welcome you to my EyeClarity podcast today. And I'm going to take a question from a listener. She's got a condition called Salzman's Nodular Degeneration. And this is a condition that affects the front part of the eye. It's a slow degenerative condition, and it affects women more than men. It tends to happen in both eyes, and some of the symptoms that you can experience would be things like when you blink, we call it a foreign body sensation. This means that you think or feel like you have something in your eye, even though you don't. But it is troublesome because there really isn't any treatment for it, except sometimes you can do some pharmaceutical drugs. And so I want to give kind of a more holistic, integrative perspective on this condition. So the first thing I want to say is that in some of the research that I've seen, that there's a connection between osteoporosis and Salzman's nodular degeneration. In addition, there's a problem with what we call mucopolysaccharides, and this seems to affect the connective tissue in the joints, so it can lead to things like arthritis, and again, osteoporosis is another issue that occurs. So there's a systemic thread in what we see in the eye. I've also seen this condition come up around people who have some type of corneal dystrophy, and there are a lot of different ones out there. Keratoconus is one. There's a superficial we call epithelial dystrophy. So in any event, as I said, that pharmaceutical drugs are really the only thing that's offered as a symptom approach. So I want to give some guidance on possibly some other things that you could do. So first of all, I would recommend hydrating your eyes a lot more. You could do things like the MSM eye drops. I would probably do the 5%. I would do those 4 to 6 times a day, one drop in each eye. Remember, MSM is a sulfur molecule. It's also been called a collagen creator. The cornea is made up of mostly collagen. So it's definitely going to soothe and lubricate the cornea area. And then in the evening, I would definitely do some type of castor oil eye massage on the eyelids. I find that castor oil can be used like an ointment that actually can lubricate and moisturize not only the corneas, but the eyelids. So when you place the castor oil on the outside part of the eye, it will start to go into the eye throughout the night. I would also make sure you're getting enough fats and oils. Omega-3s are really important for many different things, but especially eye hydration and reducing inflammation. Because I feel that there is an underlying inflammatory situation going on systemically. So this is where you want to make sure digestively you're doing really well, your microbiome is working, and that you're absorbing your nutrients really well. You might even consider, if you work with a functional medicine doctor, things like a ketogenic diet, moving more in that direction, or even doing some intermittent fasting. But I wouldn't take those on until you talk to your general doctor, functional medicine doctor, naturopath. Also looking at things like, immune health, allergies. These are issues that can be, underlying causative factors of why these nodules start to occur. And so it's going to take both a systemic and probably even a metabolic analysis from a holistic doctor to really check in to see how much systemically this is affecting the eyes. And as I mentioned, with osteoporosis, looking into that, maybe getting some bone density testing and seeing if there is a connection there. Obviously, when you eat a diet that's moderate to high in carbohydrates, this is a red flag as well, not only for this condition, but for many others. And of course, we know that processed sugars affect the eyes profoundly. I'd even consider the red light glasses. They could be very helpful as well. Again, in the Jeffries lab, they found that red light helps improve the mitochondria function, reduce inflammation, and they even talk about how it might reduce some of the dry eye symptoms. Speaking of dryness, if you use a screen, make sure you're using blue blockers, especially after 6 p.m. But at the other side, make sure you're getting 30 to 60 minutes of natural sunlight like I am right now during the day. And these are all things that not only help your eyesight, but also your circadian rhythms and just balancing your endocrine system. And of course, on a functional level, what kind of lens prescription are you using? Hopefully it's not monovision or progressive lenses. And then in addition, if you've had cataract surgery or LASIK surgery, I would really focus on, hydrating the eyes even more, and maybe even doing some physical vision therapy to help get your two eyes to work together. So there's no real answer to this condition. It's one of these situations where if you can boost your eye health, a lot of times these diagnoses can fade into the background, so they aren't really affecting you very much. And that's how I work with this condition. So I really appreciate the question. Thanks so much for tuning in. And that's our podcast for today. So I wish you very well. And until next time, take care. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from the EyeClarity podcast show today. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. See you here next time.